Anywhere you go, give it all.
I keep trying to put into words how much I love this city, and I think what it really comes down to is an appreciation of time, the passage of time. I found myself lately being obsessed with my window box and this particular flower. It sits right next to where I sit when I have my breakfast. I have been watching it come to bloom over the past few weeks. I thought it would be quicker, but it reminds me that everything happens in its own time. There are whole months that go by where there are no blooms on this plant. I don't really understand it. I'm not a green thumb. But what I can appreciate is when the blooms do appear, it's a true gift, and it reminds me to slow down and to appreciate every phase of life, blossoming into a new chapter, and knowing that everything ends. A flower box has gotten me all philosophical, but this is what happens in Paris. You can't not get philosophical. It's just a thing. There are so many surprising delights in Paris. One of them is right outside my window. It's the parrots. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me try to capture them. My iPhone had to do the trick, and it was just such a delight to listen to them and watch them. I could literally sit for hours just being amused. Do you have anything like this in your world that just captures your imagination and transports you into something more?
Hey guys, I just needed to poke in to say it is 6 p.m. and it's not dark out. It is so exciting. And see, you can hear the church bells. They're coming from that tower. I can't even tell you how happy I am that it's not dark. Like, for so many months, it's been 4 p.m. and already dark, and I don't know when it changed. I mean, obviously it changed at the winter solstice, but I didn't notice it until just this evening, and I'm just ecstatic.
With the longer evenings arriving and the COVID restrictions reducing, it's been time to explore Paris at night. The museums alternate evenings that they stay open late, like this one, the Jacquemin André. It's in the private home of the collectors. The first floor is decorated the way they would have lived in the 19th century. The second floor has visiting exhibits. At the moment, it's an exhibit of Botticelli. For those who may not know, Botticelli was an overachiever in Italy in the 1400s, a designer and a painter, and he was most famous for Venus. But what I didn't know was he didn't just do one Venus. In fact, he didn't do just one of anything. He had like a whole factory. He made copies, not identical copies because, he didn't have a Xerox or a computer around. So with these two Venuses, for example, you can tell the hair is slightly different, the size of the thighs. It's really subtle, but fascinating to me, something that I think of as so 21st century, where we duplicate everything, was actually being done in the 15th century. Even with these Madonnas and Childs, you can see it's the same concept. He's just changed the position of the baby or the position of the Madonna's head. Aside from these copies, I just wanted to shout out for the brilliance of these pearls. Look at how just a gray and a white dot transform into translucent gems. These famous people are talented, man. There are some days when just taking a wander through the streets of Paris is what the doctor ordered. And there doesn't need to be an agenda. There doesn't need to be a destination. It's just soaking in the history of the city, the potential, the creativity, the just raw beauty, even in the mess. There's just a profoundness to this city that touches me so deeply, and you wouldn't know that there's a strike going on the other side of the city, or that my house is a wreck because I'm doing a massive spring cleaning, or that I'm stressed because of work, or that there are personal things I'm wrestling with, or any of that. Like, all of that melts away, and my head gets empty of the troubles of life, and I stop thinking. And I heard recently someone talking about the brain and how much importance we put on thought, and how that's such a small percentage of who we are, but it's so powerful, and it drives so many of our actions and so much of our pain. But when you stop thinking, when you can turn the thinking off, you reach the magic of life. And for me, Paris helps me do that. Paris helps turn off the mind, turn off the thinking, and let the magic in. I hope for you that you find a place or an activity that does that for you as well. It's such a joy. The weekend wouldn't be a weekend in Paris without A, a strike, which is where all these police vans are going, and B, a brunch. Now, when I first got to Paris, I swore off all things American, including the concept of brunch. But it's been 6 years, and so many great brunch places have popped up since I moved here, that now it's a real treat to get together with my friends and splurge every once in a while on some pancakes and eggs Benedict and hot chocolate, and of course, coffee. Now before you have your next cup, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, and give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.
Honey, when you say